Om Stapakaya cha Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishthaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namah Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadguru Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmu Namasri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surai Satchit Sukasvarupaya Swamini Tapaharine वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. We are continuing with our introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. Now we saw how Sri Krishna is extremely liberal. Even those who do not have belief in such scriptures, etc., even they are liberated. Even those who are of a sinful nature, they also, if they turn towards God, once they turn a new leaf, they are also given redemption. Apiche sudiracharo bhaktya mam ananya bhav chipram bhavati dharmatma sashvat santim nigacchati. So they become dharmatma in a second once they turn their mind towards God, once they have devotion in Sri Krishna. We saw all that. And then, so he also clearly says Chaturvarnyam Maha Sishtva Gunakarma Vibhagas. The four divisions were all created by me according to the gunas. So they are not a bar to your reaching the highest goal, etc. Then we also started about the arrangement of the text of Bhagavad Gita. So it's essentially these two ideas, this Tyaga and Yoga. This is the predominant idea. So, but then the Gita has a solution and answer for every type of personality. For those who are very intellectual by nature, for them the idea of Jnana Yoga. Those who are very emotional by nature, for them the Bhakti Yoga. And then those who are extremely active, Karma Yoga. Then they are very contemplative, maybe for them Dhyana. So everything is given there. But people have to adopt it according to the type of adhikara, whatever is the dominant tendency in them. A person who is extremely active suddenly cannot close his eyes and sit and I will do only dhyana. And if you are very emotional by nature, you cannot say, I will always argue, I'll find out, I'll reason out. It may not happen. So actually the idea is, although it is addressed to Arjuna, this Gita is meant for all types of aspirants, because Arjuna himself, his problem was not unidimensional, it was multidimensional. So in answering or in solving the problems of Arjuna, Sri Krishna has given the solution to every aspirant or every type of personality in the humanity. So, as we clearly saw, the main problem of Arjuna was because of his attachment to his kith and kin, Swajanam ki Swajanami katam hatva. How do I kill my relatives? So what is the use of all that? Huh? So then that is why, but this attachment towards the swajana, etc., arises out of this ahankara and mamakara. It is me and mine, and that's how it gives rise to all that. So the conquest of this ahankara, or really getting hold of one's ego, or trying to remove it, trying to get rid of it completely. For that, they say that the chitta should become pure. The chitta is, it has actually three parts: the intellect, the emotion, and the will. All are part of chitta only. Chitta is a comprehensive word for all. There is all the three functions. So obviously, the the sadhana or the chitta shuddhi must address all these issues. It cannot, the chitta cannot be purified only about the emotional aspects. It has to do the volitional aspect also, and also the buddhi aspect. All these have to be taken care of. So people of different temperaments may begin somewhere. Supposing whatever is your main problem or wherever you feel the main difficulty, you may start there, but you have to slowly go and address all the other issues, because supposing you do exercise only for the hand, that is good, but that will not take care of the whole body. So you have to do an exercise which will take care of the entire body, the various limbs. Similarly, the spiritual health, the whole mind should be taken care of, and accordingly, we must adapt such practices which would help us in a comprehensive manner. So, the a yoga may be called a particular name, like karma yoga or jnana yoga or bhakti yoga, only from the point of view of the beginning. जैसे शुरुआत जिससे प्रारंभ करते हैं उसकी हिसाब से ठीक है. But then you'll find that slowly the other yogas, the other aspects also come into being. Otherwise, it will not be a comprehensive treatment of the problem or the difficulty. So one may start, but slowly you will find that in some way or other, all the other yogas also come into being. Because that will, Maharaji also will highlight how the different yogas are coming into being. Of course, in a general way, you can say that each yoga, in a sense, in each yoga, practically every other yoga is kind of inbuilt. Supposing you take karma yoga, you are interested in karma yoga, you are very active by nature, you want to do seva, you want to do service. So to do service, you must you must have a different attitude. Otherwise, सेवा करते करते अहंकारी बन जाते हैं. मैं इतना किया, मेरा इतना किया, स्वीकार भी नहीं किया, उनका बिल्कुल यही नहीं है, कृतज्ञता नहीं है, ऐसे से हम लोग सोचते हैं. I did so much, you didn't even acknowledge. Not only that, when you do seva, you must discriminate and do that which is really good for the person whom you are serving. Supposing somebody is sick, you are serving, he wants to take ice cream. The patient wants to take something which is very bad for health. Oh, I am serving, I must give whatever he asks. Is it seva? No. Then you use your discrimination, your power of jnana, power of questioning to find out what is good for him. And accordingly you deny. Even if the person is going to get annoyed, you are going to deny. So in karma also there is not only that, when you serve some person, obviously supposing a person is sick, that person will not behave very rational. You will be irrational. He will get angry. You may do something good for him. Still he may scold you. He may misbehave with you. He may not listen to you. But unless you have the deep devotion, deep love and affection for that person, you will not be able to serve him properly. This is bhakti, or this is emotion. So jnana has come, bhakti has come, सेवा तो कर्म तो काम के अंदर ही आ जाता है. Then ध्यान, you have to be very alert. आपकी दिया है उनके पास, आप कुछ पढ़ते रहते हैं, मोबाइल में बात करते रहते हैं, दूसरे के साथ ये करते हैं. नो, you have to be attentive all the time how it is going to serve the person for whose benefit I am here. आपका बहुत सोचना पड़ेगा. So in one, all the other yogas are coming in automatically. Similarly, if you take bhakti yoga, you are doing bhakti, तो है, इमोशन तो है, भगवान के आप प्यार करते हैं, पूजा करते हैं, लेकिन पूजा के समय आपका बहुत ध्यान रखना पड़ता है. If you think you are गॉड इज लिविंग और रियल, उसका मैं बैठ गया पूजा करने के लिए, बस सुबह से बैठ के पूजा ही करता हूँ, 3 बजे भोग चढ़ाता हूँ. दैट इज नॉट रैशनल. All the others in the house, the children, old people, they will all be fasting. क्यों? आपका तो पूजा नहीं हुआ. अरे मेरा पूजा हो रहा है, मेरा पूजा हो रहा है. So that kind of puja, that is, there is no discrimination, there is no vichara in it. Not only that, you want to offer, there is a time. आपकी दोपहर की भोग 3 बजे चढ़ाएंगे, 4 बजे चढ़ाएंगे. How do you think that the person whom you are worshipping is real or is going to accept your bhoga? मेरा जैसे भी चढ़ाओ ले लेंगे. So in your bhakti also there is scope for discrimination. You have to be very alert and ध्यान से कैसे हो रहा है, so that nothing happens. You know, when Holy Mother was resting one afternoon, suddenly she had a very powerful dream or vision or whatever it is, that there are ants all over Sri Ramakrishna's body. बहुत सारे चीटियां सारे उनका शरीर पर चढ़ गया. Then she hurriedly went to the temple and saw the mala जिसने उस दिन पहनाया, उसमें full of ants, and immediately she removed it and cleaned the picture, etc. So unless one is very alert, if your object of worship is real and living, हर चीज आप ध्यान देंगे. I will not do anything which will not be convenient or comfortable for my object of worship. That is dhyana. That is Raj Yoga. हाँ? भोग चढ़ाते हैं ठाकुर का, ठाकुर जो चीज बिल्कुल नहीं लेते हैं आप चढ़ा देंगे. ठाकुर तो मांग से स्पर्श करके टीका लगाते थे, क्योंकि माँ की प्रसाद मैं नहीं ले पाऊंगा, लेकिन माँ की प्रसाद तो मैं अवहेला उसकी यही नहीं कर पाऊंगा, उसका तो मेरा श्रद्धा दिखाना है, इसलिए एक स्पर्श करके टीका लगाते थे. सपोजिंग आप भगवान की नाम पे आप बहुत तरीका मांस भोग चढ़ाए, हो नहीं सकता है. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल, यू हैव टू बी अटेंटिव, यू हैव टू बी विचारशील, क्या करना नहीं करना. So and also you have to be active in time. बहुत साफ सुथरा होना चाहिए, बहुत, because to clean you have to do more work, you have to, आपका तो बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. So कर्म योगा, every vessel is shining like gold. ऐसे आप देखेंगे कई आश्रम में पूजा वेसल्स देखने लायक, मे बी कॉपर, they are shining like anything. ये मंदिर में कैसे कपड़ा पहनाते थे ठाकुर का, बहुत मेहनत है. एक एक दिन कल तो 4 उन्होंने पहनाया सुबह, ठाकुर, माँ, स्वामी जी, श्री कृष्ण. कितना समय लगता है, 3 बजे उठ के करना पड़ता है. सो कर्म योगा विल ऑल्सो कम अंडर भक्ति. सो इन एवरी योगा practically all the other yogas will come, but you give that yoga according to आपका जैसे ज़्यादा आपका ध्यान देना आप चाहते हैं, ज़्यादा आपका मन करता है, that which is close to your heart, that you feel is your kind of nature, मेरा स्वभाव है, उसके अनुसार उस योग में हम लोग प्रारंभ कर सकते हैं, प्रवेश करते हैं. लेकिन एक एक योग के अंदर भी धीरे धीरे बाकी सब योग का भी योगदान रहेगा, अंश रहेगा. So we have to be careful, we have to be attentive, then only we will get the best of it. That's why Swamiji always used to say, Yoga Samanvaya, harmony of yogas. That is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. He said, if you really want to build your life according to Sri Ramakrishna, in your life there will be harmony. He said, otherwise your life is not cast in the mold of Sri Ramakrishna. This expression he is using. उसमें आपकी ऐसी ढाला नहीं हुई चार्ज में, in that image or in that what you call, in that base. So if your life is to be like that, if your life is to be cast in the mold of Sri Ramakrishna, you have to have. जो आपका उन सबको आप देखने में पता चलेगा. ठाकुर's life, he was, सबको बाहर से देखने के लिए इतनी बड़ी भक्त थे. He was always a great uh, devotee of the mother, divine mother का. Always he was so devoted. माँ माँ करते. लेकिन he was extremely alert about everything. Everything. He was fully alert. So he was छोटी चीज भी उनका नजर से बाहर नहीं होता था. कैसे करना, कब करना, किस समय करना, everything you will always note. So that is the uh, karma part of it, you can say, the attention, the dhyana part of it. Nothing will escape. कहाँ गया, बोला कोई कुछ टैबल छोड़ के आ गए. अरे क्या बात है, मैं इतना भगवान का ही करता हूँ, but still I don't do जैसे वैसे. You cannot leave it and come like that. So the attention, the focus, ध्याना करते थे, लेकिन इसमें इतनी एकाग्रता उनका भगवान का द डिवोशन में भी मुहुर्मुहु उनका दर्शन होता था, समाधि होता थी. क्यों? In his devotion, Bhakti Yoga, it was full of dhyana, Raj Yoga. So he always used to have samadhi, always used to have darshan. कर्म क्या है? उसके लिए ऐसे करना भगवान के लिए, अनवरत करना. Not only lifting things and moving things and doing any physical things. In that also, always doing something which is conducive to that kind of a mental development. So physical also. Then विचार, what is it? हमेशा ही माँ मेरा तो ऐसे क्या करना नहीं करना, always asking the mother, always finding out. So all those things are very much there. So if you take mother's life also, mother was always busy, morning 4 बजे से रात 11 तक. Can say she was a great example of कर्म योग. बहुत बड़े कर्म योगी थे. लेकिन उनका मान लीजिए भक्ति ठाकुर के प्रति इतनी डिवोशन, जब पूजा करने में बैठती थी, बस सिंपल पूजा शी यूज्ड टू डू फॉर आवर्स, बट उसके अंदर सबको पता चलता था शी वाज वन विद ठाकुर, टोटली इमर्स्ड इन द डिवोशन. एंड ध्यान ज्यादा बैठने में दिक्कत होता था क्योंकि इतना डूब जाते थे. इट मे बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर टू कम आउट ऑफ इट, आउट ऑफ दैट स्टेट ऑफ ध्यान. इज ऑलवेज इमर्स्ड. और विचार शार्पेस्ट, कब करना नहीं करना. एंड द आइडिया, शी विल गेट एन आइडिया. शी ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू कैरी a picture of Sri Ramakrishna along with that whenever she would go on tour or this or that. So whenever they would prepare anything, वही तस्वीर उसके एक आसन में बिठा के भोग चढ़ाती थी. And that everybody will take prasad afterwards. Somewhere they were midway, they have to prepare food, take it and start for the next station, and they have to reach the destination before it is dark. Those days, it was थोड़ा खतरनाक था, देर हो जाने में, then डाकू फाकू का डर भी था. So they have to reach the place, cross a particular place before it is dark and reach the next destination. सब बनाया पकाया. उस समय जो यहाँ से आग से फ्रॉम द ओवन वो हंडी निभा उठाने के समय हाथ से स्लिप होके मिट्टी में गिरा, टूट गया. They used to use earthen vessels, so it was broken, and some cooked rice fell out here and there. So सब तो स्तंभित हो गए. अभी क्या होगा? ठाकुर के तो नीचे गिर गया, भोग चढ़ाना संभव नहीं है, कैसे होगा? ठाकुर को तो बहुत ही पवित्र चीज चाहिए. माँ ने सिंपल सोल्यूशन निकाला. ठाकुर का तस्वीर रखा, बोला जो गिरा था ऊपर 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 से पूरा उठा लिया, वही रख के ठाकुर आज यही भोग तुम ले लो, हम लोग तो अभी निकलना है, दोबारा बनाने के समय नहीं. हाँ, in that she offered, everybody took and they left. But साधारण On a normal day, does she do like that? So much of attention, so much of care. लेकिन see her capacity to do vichara or ज्ञान, कर्मयोगी थी, लेकिन ज्ञान की भक्ति में, ध्यान में, किसी दिशा में कम नहीं. So much it was like that. She was like that. Everybody was simply amazed by her capacity to assess the situation, understand, offer to Thakur accordingly, and then carry on. मन में कोई किच नहीं. क्यों? भगवान के साथ इतने अपनापन भाव है. ठाकुर was our very own. See, हम लोग भगवान के देवता से डरते हैं. ऐसे करने में गलती हो जाएगी, इसने करने में ठीक नहीं है, उसने करने. No, there is no confusion in her mind. She was very clear. This is how it is to be done. This is how it is to be solved. She went ahead. So, that is how in every yoga, if you are an alert person, if you are a true sadhaka, every other yoga will simply come in. Simply you can just take for example, Swamiji also. Because always, Swamiji was ऐसे तूफान की तरह, here, there, all over the world, talking before 150 people, 200 people, 500 people, 600 people, ऐसे ही देना, भाषण देना, ये देना, जाना, इधर उधर, all over the world. ट्रू कर्मयोगी. और कर्मियों के बारे में इतना कहा, उसी से आपका सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. आपका कुछ भी जरूरत नहीं. You don't need any other, nothing is needed. Only कर्मयोगा. A true कर्मयोगा, निष्काम कर्मा will take you to the same place where ज्ञान, भक्ति और ध्यान जहाँ ले जाएगा. It will take you to the same. So much he said, advocated. But what was he? ध्यान. बैठते तो बैठते थे. It happened somewhere in the West. I think during one of the camps, I think Camp Taylor or somewhere, there was I think there was an oak tree or somewhere. Then he came and he sat. There were only some 2 days or so left for the camp to be wound. He sat and simply immersed. Then it was raining, pouring like anything. No awareness. When they all came, running with chhatris, with umbrellas, and they held it above his head. He had no idea. Other people thought that he has passed away. वो तो गुजर गए ऐसे सोचे. Then one man knew, no, he's in samadhi. Then after a long time, the rains all stopped. Then Swamiji opened his eyes. He saw all around there were pools of water. इतनी गहराई ध्यान और विचार. Cannot imagine that kind of sharp intellect. Dhyan Yoga ki parakashta, the highest idea of Dhyan Yoga. Everything so devoted to Thakur. At the same time, in a moment, he could give up everything for the sake of the highest truth or to drive home some point. Itni Dhyan, that idea of the oneness, Brahman. He was just taking a class below the मैंगो ट्री इन बेलूर मठ. अभी भी है, उसके नीचे इस चेयर में बैठ के सुबह क्लास लेते थे कई बार. It was around maybe 39 something. That time the new temple was not there in Belur Math. Only the old temple was there. So बाबूराम महाराज एक थाली लेके ऊपर जा रहे थे, सीढ़ी चढ़ रहे थे. Then Swamiji was in such a mood. Say, here is Brahman. And then hearing, simply बाबूराम महाराज थाली हाथ में ऐसे खड़े हो गए, like statue. And everyone sitting there, they are simply transported to a different realm. कुछ भी पता नहीं है किसी को. ऐसे 15 मिनट ना आधा घंटा कितना समय बीत गया मालूम नहीं है. Then Swamiji came down. Yes, you go. Then only Babaram Maharaj could go ahead. So he was such a great jnani. Karma yogi to he was, but jnani, and also his capacity to discriminate, to find out the truth, everything, and realize the oneness. What does your discrimination lead to ultimately? You discriminate and realize everything is one. That oneness, that Chaitanya, that consciousness, that Atmanubhuti, or realizing everything is Brahman. Brahma Satya Jaganmite Jiva Brahmaiva Napar. That he could, he had not only realized, he could make others realize in a moment. Highest idea of jnana. Then bhakti, he could not even speak of Sri Ramakrishna. He was so devoted to him. He would be so overwhelmed by emotion. बिल्कुल बात नहीं कर पाते थे. He was so devoted. So, so when he said harmony of yogas, it is not simply words. He had himself practiced, he had himself realized. That's why he said that's the best way if you really want to mold yourself according to what Sri Ramakrishna preached. All this should be in your life. That was his clear idea. So then, the spiritual problem of Arjuna also, it had got from the intellectual aspect, ज्ञान की तरह उनकी समस्या थी, emotional, because he was naturally emotionally attached to his relatives, and obviously volitional aspect he was not willing to do. His swadharma, his intellect was clouded by moha. So finally he says, Nashto moha smriti labdva. Huh? And also in the volitional aspect, he is refusing to do his swadharma. And what is the emotional aspect? He had, because he felt attached, deeply attached to his own relatives and elders, and he thought that killing them in this war is not a is a very unspiritual activity, should not be done. So all these problems were there. So the treatment given by Sri Krishna had the effect of removing his shoka, moha. Shoka is what is his uh, feeling for relatives. His shoka was removed, his moha was removed, and he made him do his duty in the service of Swadharma. All that has happened. That's why, in the 18th chapter, Sri Krishna says, Arjuna says, Nashto mohasmriti labdva tat prasadat mayachyuta. By your grace, I have realized I am free from moha. That's what Sri Krishna wanted him to do. And then also, in the ninth chapter also, again there is this idea where he says, Arjuna tells Sri Krishna, Mohoyam vigato mama. Because of hearing your this thing, I feel that I have come away from my moha. My moha has been removed. So, and it's very clear, Sri Krishna was intent on clearing the moha in Arjuna. And then again about his knowledge, Kajit Ajnana Sammoha Pranashtaste Dhananjaya. So, he wanted to remove the moha of Dhananjaya. And then in the beginning itself, he says, so the how he wanted to remove his shoka, Ashochan Anvashochastvam Prajnavadam Sabhashase Gatasu Nagatasu Se Nanashochanti Panditaha. So, he says, then again he says in, this is in chapter 2, then he says in 18, Ma Shucha, do not grieve. You are my dear, you do not grieve. So, he's very keen on removing the shoka of Arjuna. Not only that, Jatasya dhruvo mrityo dhruvam janma mritasya tasmat apariharyate nattam shochitam arhasi. So you should not grieve. It's not worth it, because whoever is born is going to die, and who is going to die is going to take birth. Why do you think that it's all the end of it? Yeah, thought like an ordinary person. Oh, all these people will die. Everything will happen. He says, no, Sri Krishna, it will go on. It's a cycle. The Sansar Sagara will go on and on and on. Those who die will come back. Those who are born will die. This will happen till you get that ultimate knowledge or ultimate mukti or that complete redemption. This will keep on happening. So why do you think and you foolishly you grieve for all that? Do not grieve. Nashnatvam shochitam arhasi. It is not worthy of grieving by a person like you. And then, All these are all why he wants to make him do his swadharma. Eh? So then he says, Klaibyam asma gamah partha naitatvai upapadyate Kshudram hridayadorbalyam tyakto tishta parantap. Uttishta parantap. So you start, you are a scorcher of force. You why have this unmanliness, weak-heartedness come over you? Remove all that and you fight. So the idea is again and again he wants him to do his swadharma. Then yuddhaya, eh? yuddhaya yujjasva. Then all these, tasmat yujjasva bharata. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्यस्य अध्यात्म चेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युज्यस्व विगतज्वरः. So everywhere again he is exhorting him to do his swadharma, to fight. So now he is removing all his Shreyan Swadharmo Paradharma Swanishita Swadharme Nidanam Sneha Sreha Paradharmo Bhayat Bhayavaha. This is even if it is all without gunas also, it's still better to do one's swadharma rather than adopt paradharma. So, through all these, he is again and again is making him do all that. That's why finally Arjuna says, I have been cleared of all my moha, karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you say, I will do. So this is the end because he has been removed of the moha, he has been removed of all the shoka, and he has been clearly instructed to perform his swadharma, which Arjuna has accepted, and he is going to fight. That's why he says, Karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you say, I will follow. Finally, he accepts. So then again, you will see clearly the Gita. There are, of course, in many places, in every yoga, there will be some elemental aspect of other yoga. But generally, there is one view that Gita itself can be divided into six chapters. Three, uh, three portions or three divisions of 6 chapters. The first 6 chapters are laying large emphasis on karma yoga. The first 6 largely they emphasize on karma yoga, and because they say how to the karma yoga aspect of spiritual practice, how one can do one's duty without aspiring for the karma phala. See, none. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. At the same time, he says, Ma karma phala hetur bhur mate sangosya karmani. You have to do your work without aspiring for the results. At the same time, don't get attached to akarmani, non-performance. नहीं, काम करने में तो फल आ जाएगा. I don't want phala. So you can't sit quiet because your very nature will make you fight. That is somewhere else. नहीं कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत् कार्य से ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वं प्रकृते गुणैः. So you cannot be without work at all. So even the great men also, they think no, because when he makes you do, when the prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati sadasham cheshyasvasya prakriter jnanavan. Even ज्ञानवान भी, even if they try सदृशम चेष्टस्वस्य, जितने भी प्रयास करें होगा. क्यों? प्रकृति ज्ञानति भूतानि निग्रह किंकरिष्यति. What will you do when your prakriti will make you? So that he says here, he generally says that how you can do your karma without getting attached to fruits, and without, because the fruits only, your aspiration for fruits or you are getting attached to fruits, that alone is making you again come back into this samsara. So how to avoid that, he is saying. The second 6 chapters largely deal with bhakti yoga, a deep devotion to the Lord. And so he himself, how through an avatara or a saint or some symbol, etc., how it can all be done, how various ways of worship are possible, and how even the simplest worship will do as long as there is devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhaktya prechati. So I accept that whatever it is, even if the patra, pushpa, phal, whatever you give, even water, toyam, even water is enough. But it is to be given with the deep devotion and shraddha. So, in so many ways, he is teaching about Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters, largely you can say, it's a predominant element of jnana or viveka and vichara and all that. So, every chapter of yoga is this Bhagavad Gita. Finally, you will say at the end of the chapter uh, there's a small sloka, the colophon, which clearly says each is a yoga. Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Nama, Astamodhyaya, Satamodhyaya, Chaturthodhyaya, like that. Each adhyaya is called a yoga. But in all these yoga is always synchronized or synthesized with Tyaga. So all chapters, they will give the basic drift is Tyaga and Yoga with emphasis on that particular aspect dealt with in that chapter. Each chapter has a very special distinguishing feature. It will be done. Along with that, it will be carried forward. So then again, this six chapter division means that doesn't mean that they are watertight compartments. क्योंकि हर 6 चैप्टर के अंदर भी बाकी योगा के कई जगह पे उल्लेख हैं और थोड़ा हम लोग देखेंगे. The first 6 chapters, there are elements of devotion and self-surrender to God, etc., as a means of removing the problems of karma or the bondages of karma. So devotion is, uh, he says clearly in the first 6 chapters, Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. Vasehyasya indriyani tasya prajnavis. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. You control everything with deep devotion to me. Matpara. I am the highest. That kind of a devotion. And then Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya dhyatma chitasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva idyasya bhagasatvara. Mai sarvani karmani sanyas. He is talking about karma yoga. What kind of karma yoga? Sarvani karmani sanyasta. Mai sanyasta. Offering all actions unto me. So that is clearly, it's karma yoga, but then it is clear bhakti is there. What is the way? What is, see, even karma yoga, when you perform karma yoga also, there should be a basis, adhar chahiye. So the normally you will find in Gita there are 2 types of adhara. Even otherwise also, either you can work. You will say uh, samadarshitva. Again you will. Sri Krishna will talk about the samadarshitva, being equanimous, looking everything as alike. So that is one attitude. Because when you look everything as alike, what happened? That's why great souls, extraordinary spiritually evolved persons, why they have so much of compassion, why they have so much of compassion for others. Because once you realize that oneness, if I suffer, you will suffer instantaneously. Because in you and me, there is no difference. It happened in Sri Ramakrishna's life. He was standing on the banks of Ganges. 2 boatmen were fighting. मार्च गंगा जी में 2 नाव वाला जोर लड़ रहे थे. एक दूसरे के पीठ में जोर एक थप्पड़ मारा, घुसी मारा. Suddenly, Sri Ramakrishna was shirking, करके चिल्लाया. Then Hriday came and saw there's a big red mark on Sri Ramakrishna's back. He said, Mama, who hit you? Tell me, I'll go and kill that person. But Sri Ramakrishna was not in a mood to even speak because he was in such a state of oneness. What happened between those 2 boatmen? Instantaneously, that reflected on his body, not only at the physical level, even emotionally, mentally. Why even at that advanced stage of cancer, गले में कैंसर है, 6 महीने कुछ नहीं लिया, only little suji, something, and simply he was skin and bone, nothing in his body. Still, whosoever would come to uplift them spiritually, to talk to them about spiritual life. Why this compassion? One idea is because they see oneness. सारे संसार के साथ ऐसे एकत्व अनुभव करते हैं, किसी को दर्द किसी को दुख खुद ही अनुभव करते थे. That oneness. So that's one highest idea of karma yoga. So why mother could not see the fault of anybody? Because one thing is she was obviously, it's a very highly cultivated thing. Her mind was so pure, it was so full of that kind of love and affection. She could never put it, उनकी नजर में ही नहीं आती थी. But दूसरा, because of her oneness with the whole world, the entire संसार, कि किसी ने बोला जहाँ भी कोई लड़की है जान लो मेरी लड़की है. Wherever you see, all daughters are my daughters, and I am in every mother. That kind of oneness. So they cannot really feel that. Many of the disciples, somewhere, Swamiji was climbing a mountain. One coolie, one lady, Nepali lady or somebody, she was carrying a big load, finding it extremely difficult. Swamiji was tadaprete, she was breathing in pain because he literally felt pain in his body. That kind of oneness with humanity. So that can be a very great basis. That's why should Swamiji, someone like him who was an adept in dhyana, वो तो जन्म से ध्यान सिद्ध थे. What was the need for him to work for humanity? Just that. When he went on a Bharat Parikrama, he felt such oneness. He was so deeply moved by the poverty and illiteracy of the masses. अरे इन लोग का खून देखेगा, हम लोग नहीं देखेंगे तो खून करेगा. That kind of an intense feeling. That's what made him such a great karma yogi. से करके करके 40 साल के अंदर गुजर गए. How? He really spent every drop of his blood in the service of humanity. That is because of the oneness he felt with entire humanity. Not only that, when he went to America, when he addressed the audience, sisters and brothers of America, पहले तो he was not speaking at all. बार बार उसकी नाम अनाउंस कर रहे थे. Now, नहीं बाद में अंत में बाद में बोलने की मौका नहीं था. अभी तो बोलो तो नहीं तो खत्म होने वाला. Then he rose, he prayed, and he addressed sisters and brothers. The whole thousands were attempted, all stood up and spontaneous applause. Why? ये दो शब्द में क्या है? इससे भी कितनी अच्छी शब्द सब व्यवहार किया. Why was it? Because in oneness, for a second, for a fraction of a moment, he could establish oneness with the entire audience. The entire audience felt completely one with him. That kind of an experience. That is what made him so popular throughout. As long as he was there, he was the most popular speaker. And whenever people would get up, the organizers announced, Swami Vivekananda will speak after some time. Then everybody will sit down. Why? Because it was not so much his flowery words. Yes, he spoke about a great philosophy, of ancient Hinduism, everything was okay. But more than that, his ability, his capacity to establish that oneness, because he was so deeply established in the highest knowledge or highest experience of Advaita. So that is why, out of compassion, tasmat karunya bhavena, out of compassion, they रक्षा करेंगे, सेवा करेंगे, उनका सब उद्धार करेंगे. That's why that was it. Ramanuja was told that this mantra is Guru. This will liberate you. But if you tell others, you will go to hell. They will benefit. He simply went up to the Srirangam temple, Gopuram. बहुत बड़ी ऊंचाई है. Maybe 150 feet or so. He went up. And from there he called everybody come. And he openly chanted that mantra aloud. Let all of you be liberated. Let me go to hell. Gain that idea of oneness. They are all children of God. They should get it. Doesn't matter if I go to hell. So, this is one idea. Otherwise, Then the second idea, they're all God's children, God's creation. Serving them means serving God. सो उसका भी कुछ एटीट्यूड चाहिए ना. सो कर्मा के अंदर भी वैसे ही जरूर आ ही जाएगा. सम एटीट्यूड अदर विल डेफिनेटली कम. विदाउट इट इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू डू कर्म योगा. बट हियर ही क्लियरली सेज मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्य अध्यात्म चेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा इज्जस्व विगतज्वरः. So everything you offer unto me, all your actions, and then you fight without fear. Because once you offer unto me, you don't have to worry about everything. All responsibility is mine. मान लीजिए आपको कोई हमें काम करने के लिए आप डरते हैं, अरे इतना मुश्किल है, तो मे बी आई मे ब्रेक समथिंग, आई मे नॉट बी एबल टू डू. नो नो, यू डोंट वरी, मेरी जिम्मेवारी है, आप निश्चिंत होकर कीजिए. देन यू आर वेरी हैप्पी. अरे इसमें जो अच्छा बुरा है, जो महाराज का है, मेरा कुछ नहीं है, सो यू डू इट. लाइक दैट ही सेज मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्य अध्यात्म चेतसा. इट्स अ स्पिरिचुअल एटीट्यूड, डिवोशन. बाय सरेंडरिंग टू मी, ऐसा नहीं है नॉट दैट वो तो मेरा नौकर है, वो करेगा. नॉट दैट. सरेंडर एवरीथिंग in a spiritual attitude, adhyatma chetasa, then you will have no fear, no problem, no difficulty. This is what Sri Krishna says. Because it's very interesting. Again, maybe we'll continue it next time. It's very important. So, I wanted to tell you also, on the 1st of October, we are going to have a spiritual retreat for half a day. All of you may kindly register. Entry is allowed only for registered bhaktas, because the auditorium has only about 160 or 170 seat capacity. So you'll be given tea and अच्छी दोपहर प्रसाद सब देंगे हम लोग. But it's a half day retreat. Please come. Only the first come, first serve. If you delay, you will not. And we will not do live telecast. बाद में अपलोड करेंगे. When it is happening, you have to come here. ये सब ऐसा नहीं होता है, रिमोट में नहीं होता. You have to come here, feel the atmosphere, be in satsang, then चलेगी. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम तत्सत. श्री राम कृष्ण अर्पणमस्तु.